ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। भगवद गीता चैप्टर 2 वर्स नंबर 15। यम हि न व्यथन्ति एते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभः सम दुःख सुखम धीरम सह अमृतत्वाय कल्पते। O best among men, the sober person who remains undisturbed despite the dualities caused by sense perception, and who considers happiness and distress to be the same, is certainly qualified for liberation from the endless cycle of birth and death. So in the previous verse, Krishna explained that one should not become disturbed because of the temporary appearance of happiness and distress that arise from sense perception. One should try to tolerate them. So then the question may arise that, oh my Lord, even if I make a lot of effort to tolerate these dualities caused by sense perception, what benefit will be there? So here Krishna is saying that one who is able to stay undisturbed, who is able to tolerate the ups and downs of life, the happiness and distress that actually is caused by dualities of sense perception, becomes qualified to get liberated. So as we discussed in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, there are three aspects in our spiritual journey that our scriptures explain. The first is called Sambandh, which means relationship, that who am I, who is the supreme absolute truth, and what is my relationship with that supreme absolute truth. That is called Sambandh Gyan, or the knowledge of our relationship with the Supreme. Then, what is the process to establish that lost relationship? That process is called Abhidheya, and by following that process, we achieve our ultimate goal. That goal is called Prayojan. So all our scriptures describe these three things: Sambandh, Abhidheya and Prayojan. Each and every verse of Bhagavad Gita can also be categorized as explaining one of these three aspects of spirituality. So here Krishna is explaining that the goal, which is liberation from the endless cycle of birth and death, can be achieved by a process that helps a person rise above the dualities of this material world. What does actually cause these dualities? It is caused by our minds. The cause of all our disturbances, the cause of all our distractions, fear, anger, lust, everything, the seat of all of that is the mind. It is not the senses that are desiring to enjoy. For example, it is not your tongue that wants to taste palatable, spicy food. It is not the tongue which is able to decide whether this food is good or bad for me. The decision whether something is right or wrong is done by the intellect, but the desire to enjoy resides in the mind. When the desire to enjoy is stronger than the intellect which decides what is right or wrong, we get carried away and try to enjoy through that particular sense. The mind which is unbridled and is wanting to enjoy the material nature makes us run in all the directions, just like a chariot that is driven by horses that are running in different directions. How can the person sitting in such a chariot be happy? So our mind through various senses is pulling us in different directions and causes all the disturbances. Why? Because our intellect has become very weak, especially in this age of ignorance. Because of lack of spiritual strength, we do not have that strong determination or intelligence to realize what is our true benefit. We simply think that, oh, if I can enjoy to the maximum with my senses, and if I can enjoy right now, that is the success of life. But then we see, even after so much enjoyment, we do not become happy. Actually, the level of our disturbance only increases. If it was simple, if it was just the enjoyment that would make us happy, then everyone in this country would be actually very, very happy. But we see that as, in one sense, the society is becoming materially more advanced, the level of stress and frustration is increasing. According to a recent survey, more than 3/4 of the people in America suffer from some sort of depression, anxiety, or loneliness. But one whose mind is under the control of a strong intelligence which is fixed in spiritual knowledge, intelligence which is fixed in the higher goal of life, such a mind, even when presented with various arguments and opportunities to enjoy, will be able to control itself and will not be disturbed. Lord Krishna will explain this in great detail throughout this chapter, the second chapter. It is only by cultivating a higher taste we would be able to give up the lowly taste of material sense gratification. It is only by staying focused on the supreme goal that we would be able to overcome the tribulations of mind. Sometimes for the higher goal, we have to make sacrifices that may appear difficult. In the commentary, Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ji gives the example of Lord Chaitanya, who took sannyas at the age of 24. Sannyas is normally the last stage of life when one gives up household life and completely dedicates oneself in the cultivation of spiritual knowledge. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas at an early age of 24. Why? Because he wanted to dedicate his life for propagating the Yug Dharma, which is chanting of the holy names. He left his young wife, his old mother, and accepted the renounced order to help the entire world. Now, of course, Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Lord himself. We cannot imitate him, but we can learn from his example that when one focuses on a higher purpose, then one is able to overcome the lower purpose. What is the lower goal? Is that I want to enjoy. The higher goal is that I want to control my senses and focus my mind and intellect on spiritual progress. So Krishna is telling Arjun that, oh my dear friend, that even though it may appear very easy and immediately the cause of happiness if you leave this battlefield. So if you leave this battlefield, you will feel relieved from this lamentation that you are suffering from. That's what you are thinking. But this is simply because of your mental speculation. Because even though you may leave right now, you will not actually be happy. And your conscience will prick you throughout your life. You will lament that why did I run away from my responsibility? So right now, if you control your mind and think with your intelligence for the higher goal of making this world free from this demoniac kings who have unleashed so much havoc in this world, because of whose demoniac rule so many innocent and saintly people are suffering. If you fight for that higher purpose, you will actually attain greater happiness in the realization that this act of yours fulfilled my mission and made this world a place of religious principles once again. So you need to sober down. You need to think beyond your desire for immediate happiness or immediate relief from the distress that you're currently suffering from. See, in today's age, all of us have a similar tendency. We want immediate happiness, immediate relief from the problems that we are suffering from. We do not try to focus or understand on what is the root cause of our problem and what is the permanent solution to our problems. Due to the relentless onslaught of Kali, the age of ignorance, we are getting more and more ensnared by the trappings of the mind. Our mind is making us dance like a slave, and we don't even know that we are dancing to the tunes of our mind. It is only when we come in contact with a spiritually realized person by some good fortune, some agyat sukriti, if we come into contact with book of knowledge like Bhagavad Gita, that we can understand, oh, it is my mind which is causing all these problems. I am thinking that I am enjoying this world, but actually this is my mind which is diminishing my life and making me waste this very precious time that I have that can otherwise be utilized in cultivation of spiritual knowledge, which will lead to liberation from the endless cycle of birth and death, as Krishna is explaining in this particular verse. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in his commentary that if a person properly deliberates on the influence of the sense objects and practices tolerance of them, these sense objects will not be the cause of misery when he experiences them. So happiness and distress are simply different states of the mind. When we are able to control these high and low tides of our mental waves and attain a state of equilibrium, equanimity, which Krishna will call as samadhi, then as Srila Chakravarti Thakur says, that when the sense objects are no longer a cause of misery, one will naturally come closer to attaining liberation. And that is the goal. Such a person is called sthit pragya, one of fixed intelligence, and Krishna will explain this again in great detail in the rest of this chapter. In this age of Kali, when there is so much kalaha, so much disturbance all around us, one process that has been glorified in all our scriptures to attain relief from the tribulations of mind is to chant the holy names of the Lord. In Srimad Bhagavatam it says, Kalehe dosh nidhe rajan asti eko mahat guna. Kirtanat eva krishnasya muktah sangah param vrajet. That, oh my dear king, this age of ignorance, this age of Kali is full of so many defects and problems. But there is one great quality in this age, that simply by chanting the names of Lord Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet, that one can easily become liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Hare Krishna, have a very blessed day.